So I'm going to talk about a little bit on buildings and survivors, um, like which buildings that are not worth touching at all, and the reasons why. First, I'll start off with the builder's hut. Whoops. Okay. So when I pull it up, it says free speed up time because of the level I'm at, 23. It is currently 18 minutes. If I go up to 24, it would be 19 minutes. And what that means is, say, for example, a build time is 1 hour, right? And you know, I hit start the build on the 1 hour build, and immediately upon starting that build, the remaining time will go down to 42 minutes. Okay, so instead of being an hour, it'll be 42 minutes, and then you've got your alliance helps and all that jazz. Okay, so that's what that is. Honestly, it is not really worth the resources. The builder's hut itself, what it gives you, it's not worth it. Okay, but what does matter is the survivors that you put into the builder's hut. Okay, so as you can see, I've got two golds and two purples, one with 2 star, one with almost 2 star. Okay, and if I go on them, right, so free speed up time, it was at whatever base amount, and then with each star, you get more time off. Add it all together, that's 2 hours, 25 minutes, and 12 seconds. So if I start any construction build that is under 2 hours, 25 minutes, and 12 seconds, as soon as I hit start on that build, it will basically auto complete. Okay? There's no build time on any of that. And to show you not necessarily that it, you know, because the build I'm about to do is going to be longer than 2 hours 25. But to show you the effect of what I'm talking about, I finally have enough protein to get this guy up one level. Okay, so the build time is 4 hours and 11 minutes. So we're just going to we're going to watch the time, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so boom, right there, negative 2 hours and 25 minutes, right? So we went from a 4 hour plus build to an hour and 46. Okay, so now I do that, right? So, just to show, right? I have 28 helps. That is between the alliance building itself plus the survivors that I have in there, right? So, if everyone was online and they tapped the help button, this would have been done already. Okay, but that was just to show you that the builder's hut itself does basically nothing, and it is really the survivors you put in that matter most. Okay, the same, you know, for the Alliance Support Hub, right? So 28, I have 28 helps. That is between the building itself and the survivors that I have inside of it, right? So this guy, just on him being there, uh, gives me 3 additional helps. And if I was to start leveling him up on the first star, it would be 6 minutes added to the help time, right? And the help time is another thing as well. The help time, you can come over if you hit Alliance and go to help, right? And then this bar here on the top, I'm going to hit this little icon. So for each build, whether it's tech or construction or healing troops, whatever it is, anything that the help button contributes to is subject to these two rules. The first one is each help. I'll just read it out. Help your allies upgrade buildings, research technology, and heal wounded units. The effect of a single help is determined by the greater value of the following two rules: 0.5% of the remaining time and direct help time, a minimum of 1 minute as shown in HQ buffs. In HQ buffs, we're going to go over to my HQ. We're going to click that icon. We're going to go to economy, scroll down for a second here, and increase free speed up time for construction, 2 hours 25. The survivors, they give 2 hours and 7 minutes 12 seconds themselves, and the building boost is 18. The building boost is the builder's hut, right? The reduced, nope, I want the it does that sometimes. Okay, so this one is for research, right? So the survivors themselves give 19 minutes 4 seconds, and I think that's all this will show me. Okay, but you get the idea. Okay, so there's a lot that goes into that now, and that's also part of why I say the builder's hut itself is useless, not needed, not even worth touching, honestly. Even though, like, even at level 23, the amount of resources they want is relatively cheap. For 1 minute knocked off a construction, especially at the high level that I'm at, where I'm not really doing much construction to begin with because it's so expensive, and the build times are multiple days, if not weeks long. 1 minute, like, what's a minute, right? That's negligible, not even worth the resources. Now, for other buildings that are not worth upgrading, would be the chip lab. I have not seen any reason to upgrade this thing at all. I don't even know why I did it myself, if I'm honest, but I did. And the other ones are the warehouses, right? The coin vault, iron, and food warehouses. If you're going to get hit, you're going to get hit, right? It's just, I got, it's just not worth, putting in any amount of resources into these things. And the last thing that I can think of is the component factory. Production time, 3 hours, 24 minutes at my current level of 19. And as you can see, if I go to 20, that reduces it by 2 minutes. 2 minutes is a whole lot of bupkis. It is nothing. It is not worth it. I don't recall what the full time was, like the original production time was, but regardless, it is really just not worth any amount of pushing unless you're doing it for the construction verse points. But even then, you're actually better off for construction day. You're better off getting survivor recruitment tickets, or if you have VIP, I think, yep, they're over there as well. 200 a pop. Yeah, I know it's expensive, right? Like, to get all 50 of them is 10,000, but you'd get more points plus the survivors themselves, which are the bonus. On the Alliance store, you can get 30 of them over there. And if I remember correctly, campaign store, nope, does not have them. The campaign has legendary recruitments. So you're better off really to just leave those buildings alone. They are not worth it. And that's basically all I could say for that. Now, I've been trying to find out, I haven't looked too deep into it yet, but the Alliance Support Hub, if I bring it any higher, does it increase the amount of helps that I get? And I would assume that I would probably, by the time I get it to 30, I'll get one, maybe two extra helps. And this is me saying that with no research into this at all. But I would, you know, I really don't think you would get like to, anything more than two. And even that, I think, is pushing it. So to go from 17 to 18, while yes, one extra help, every help helps, right? But you would honestly be better off, going for the survivors. You would be much better off going for survivors, right? You'd get more help. The help time, like the time that it reduces, would increase. So there's the that's what I would say for that. In terms of the gear factory, you need to get this to 20 and then stop. The reason why you need it to get to 20 is you are able to upgrade your hero gear like into the stars, uh, realm of things. And I'll show that in a second after I'm done with my buff. Now, for your the I think these are gears. I think so. Screw factory, material workshop, your farmlands, iron, gold, EXP, and even the ore factories. I'll just call it that. 20 is the highest you should go for them. You get more ore from doing other things. Max production time of an additional 8 minutes. Again, these things are negligible, really, over the long haul of things. Experience. You get more experience doing other things. You can buy it from the stores and stuff. It is not worth it, especially when you start getting into the level 100 stage on your heroes. These things aren't really going to be producing you all that much to be making a difference, right? So like 10,000 extra is not really going to do you a whole lot of good. Well, that's 50,000 per training base, but you'd have to get them each up, that one level, right? And the amount of resources put in is just not worth it. Same for the gold and all that. It's just too long and not worth putting anything into them over 20. You'd be better off if you wanted to increase your production on those, do the related tech for it, and get, better survivors. Survivors is the key to a whole ton of things. In terms of like your squads, right? So I have 4, but the only reason why you would really want to level these up is for the squad general march speed, which is a really nice thing to have. Even though 0.5 sounds like a very small amount, it actually does add up, and you can very much see the effects of it when you're doing enemy buster and all that jazz. It really does have an effect that you can notice. The other thing I wanted to show was, well, this only applies if you actually reach level 30, but the alert tower is definitely something worth upgrading if you get to level 30. Reason being, you get all these additional buffs, that each scout, like each level of the alert tower, will reveal or has the potential to reveal more information when you scout enemy bases and tiles. So that's another thing to get. The planes themselves, the recon planes, it just increases their travel time. So, 1% is quite a lot, especially when you consider it's actually much lower percentages at lower levels. And that can be very effective if you utilize the recon plane during war and things like that. Now, I want to talk a little bit on building power. Okay, so whenever you upgrade any building in your base, anything, any construction build that you do, right, you're going to see this thing power. Okay, This number means nothing. It means absolute jack crap nothing. Okay? The only place or time that it makes any kind of like appearance in anything is when you're doing verse. I'm going to go to base expansion. It for the increased building power points. Okay, that is the only time where building power actually means anything. It does not contribute to your general march power. It doesn't contribute to your overall power. It means nothing. Okay? So I want that to be clear. Now, on the flip side of things, when you go to any of these techs, right? I'm just going to pick one example, right? Tech power, okay? And you can, if you go on any tech tree and click on any tech node and you go to this icon on the top right, for each level there is a tech power given. This power number actually matters. It does 100% contribute to your overall power. It does contribute to your squad / march power, your battle power, whatever you want to call it. This is usable numbers, and these are things that you want to look at and think about when you start to do any kind of tech. Okay, like for example, intercity truck. I did some math calculations earlier today, and it came out that if you were to do every single node in this tree to completion, would only get you a total of 198,000 tech power. Okay? On the flip side, if you were to do special forces tech, right? And if you were to max out this top branch, this guy, this branch, and morale, all of those combined equals out to 886,500 tech power points. Nearly 1,000,000 in power to your march in tech alone. That does not include the actual buff itself that each node gives you. I have not factored that in. I don't even know how to factor that in. But just on the tech power itself, right? This list of numbers on the right-hand side, if you were to do all of those, right? All of these and these four down here plus this branch equals out to 886,500. To go even like a step further or / backwards, if you were to just do these top four nodes to completion, just these top four would give you 178,400 tech power, which is 20,000 tech power short of the intercity truck at completion. This one also gives, but the difference is the spec forces give actual buffs and stats, right? The top one gives you unit base attacks, right? So, and understand, the number is like, 2.39 points. That's bupkis. But when you consider that all boosts are using base numbers in their calculations, it actually adds up to significant gains.